Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I have this tea party set of Beatrice, Emilia and Echidna from Kadokawa, as well as these two art books from ReZero. Let's take a look. Before I start, I want to apologize for the overexposed shots in this video. These are some of the first few figures I unboxed, and I'm still figuring out the camera settings at that time. Anyway, this first figure I have is the 1/7 scale figure of Beatrice, Tea Party version by Kadokawa. I got this figure from Ami, and it's the very first time I encountered the impact of the depreciating Japanese yen exchange rate. I basically lost about 28 USD from this transaction. You see, I bought this figure back in 2020 during the COVID period, where many shipment options were put on hold indefinitely. After almost half a year, when Ami could finally ship out parcels, they refunded my payment and requested for payment again. This is because I had to change my shipping method from SAL, which was still not available, to EMS, which was finally available. I didn't think too much about it at first and went along with it, but after doing my monthly credit card check, I realized I made a loss. And the loss is solely due to the currency exchange rate changes. The initial amount I paid back in 2020 was about 374 Sing dollars, but Ami only refunded 336 Sing dollars, even though the refunded yen is the same. This is because over the span of 6 months, the yen depreciated a significant amount. This was when I realized that I should have requested Ami to allow me to top up the balance amount, instead of letting them refund me. But I don't think their procedures are flexible enough to cater to such a request. Also, it makes sense for Ami to refund since the yen depreciated. It will be my loss and their gain. Anyway, moving on to the next figure, I have the 1/7 scale figure of Emilia, Tea Party set, also by Kadokawa. I picked this up at Nintendo for 304 Sing dollar, which is about 225 USD. Even though this is brand new in a sealed box, this figure has age on the shelf and the condition of the box reflects that. I actually got this figure back in 2020, around the same time I pre-ordered Beatrice. After all, the tea party needs a table. Sad to say, even though I managed to find this at the store physically, I regret not waiting for the re-release, which occurred in 2022. I'll explain why later. Okay, the last figure in this unboxing is Echidna, also from the Tea Party set by Kadokawa. I'm happy to say that even though this is the newest of the three, she is the cheapest of the three. Gave me the least nightmare as well. I bought her from Ami for about 149 USD, and that was when the yen was depreciating while figure prices were still roughly the same. I needed to gain back my losses from Ami. Loss. Anyway, now that I have Echidna, the seats at the tea party are fully occupied, and she will be the last girl I get for this tea party set. Hopefully. Anyway, before I go into unboxing the figures, I also picked up two art books from ReZero. This is the Volume 1 Artworks Rebox, and I found this at my local Kinokuniya for about 57 USD. I wasn't familiar with ordering Japanese art books online at that time yet, so I think it's quite pricey considering this retailed for 4,000 yen in Japan. I also got the Volume 2 of this Artworks Rebox, and this time I learned how to order books on Ami. It's not cheaper at all, but it came with a bonus acrylic plate, so that bumped up the retail price from 4,500 yen to 7,700 yen. Not sure if it's worth it. Anyway, back to the figures. Here are the three boxes for Beatrice, Emilia, and Echidna. They all have similar designs with windows on the front and sides. And there are also diamond-shaped patterns throughout the box. On the back, there are more photos of the figures with standard info about the product. At the top, there is also a window to peek at the top of the figures. Now, to open all three figures up. Inside, Each of them only have one blister package for the figure and accessories. As for the inner side of the boxes, all three have diamond-shaped patterns repeated on the inside, according to the respective color theme of each figure. They have no instructions, but they all come with this same set of notes about the figure. Now, to take the figures out. Opening up the blister package, all three figures come with this circular white base of varying sizes. For Emilia, she has an additional table, which is essential for the tea party. Next, each girl comes with a fancy chair which they sit on. Last but not least is the figures themselves. Here, I have Beatrice, my favorite of the trio. She has a dent in her skirt to allow her to sit on the chair, and it looks hilarious. Next, I have Emilia. And to my horror, even though this is a brand new in suit box figure, she has horrible stains. The figure is not at all sticky, but I have no idea how these stains got here. Sobs. Last but not least, I have Echidna, and she is in perfect condition. Well, she is the newest amongst the trio, so I guess that will explain why. Before I assemble the figures, I would like to first share what's inside the Rebox Artworks books. Here is volume 1, and inside, there are 2 volumes of the light novel, as well as an illustration book. Sadly, for the 2 light novel volumes, these are in Japanese and I don't understand a word. Maybe one day I will, but not at the moment. Here is the Artworks illustration book, and it looks beautiful. Inside, there are various artworks of the ReZero series, and I really love this style over the anime style. Next up is the Volume 2 Rebox, and similar to Volume 1, this box has a light novel and an illustration book inside. Here is the single light novel, and it is also in Japanese, so I don't know what it is about. Here is the illustration book, and similar to Volume 1, it also has various artworks from the ReZero series. The illustration for the very popular Ram and Ram figures by Good Smile Company is also in here. Beautiful. This volume also comes with a bonus acrylic panel of Ram and Ram, and this thing can be set up like a picture frame. It's a pretty nice thing to have in my collection wall, so despite the asking price from Ami for this, I'm quite happy to have it. Okay, now back to the figures. For assembly, there are these white bases which come with each figure, and these are for the various furniture to sit on. This first setup is for Emilia, and once I set her on her fancy chair, she is fully assembled. But I'm not done yet. Next up, I have Beatrice, my favorite of the trio. Once I set her up on the chair, Beatrice has joined the party. Setting up the last set of base and chair, this is for Echidna, coming in last for the party. That's it, the tea party is now ready. With that, I have the 1/7 scale figures of Emilia, Beatrice, and Echidna from ReZero by Kadokawa, fully assembled. In their sitting poses, these figures are about 20 cm high, and I love how they are all set up together. Zooming into the figures, they all sit on these very fancy chairs, and I really love how detailed these are. The table is also in the same design, but it kinda looks blue. I don't know, maybe it's just me. As for the figures themselves, starting with Emilia, I really like how her outfit is captured. She is usually dressed in white, but there is quite a bit of dark blue shading, creating depth to her outfit. As for the accessories, Emilia is holding a teacup, and it looks quite decent. Her hand sculpt is also quite pretty. Sadly, one of her sleeves has been terribly stained, and I can't wash it off. Because of this, I regret not waiting for the re-release Emilia, so I could get a newer figure instead of this older one. As for Echidna, she is in a contrasting black dress. Although there is little shading on it, her sculpt is gorgeous. Look at the wrinkles on her dress at her belly area. Very nice. Echidna also has a really seasoned looking book, and this thing has the most shading in the figure. Lastly, my favorite Beatrice, mainly because of her fluffy dress. I love how the frills are sculpted, and her striped socks are just lovely. And Beatrice has the best accessory of them all. Puck just looks so adorable. Moving up the figure, I have to talk a little bit about their hair. Here is Emilia, and I think her hair sculpt is quite pretty. She has white hair, but this is quite well shaded to give it depth. She also has a lovely flower accessory, and it suits her very well. As for Echidna, sadly her hair kinda lacks shading as compared to Emilia, even though they both have the same hair color. She also has a pretty butterfly accessory, and I think this is a lovely detail for her. As for Beatrice, I don't care, her drill-like twin tails are perfection. They are tied up with pink ribbons, and she has a little crown. She is Queen Beatrice. All hail her. Lastly, for their faces, I think in general, Kadokawa has captured them pretty accurately. Emilia has a simple smiling expression, and she looks very lovely. I quite like how her eyes are colored. Echidna also looks accurate to her character, and her eye decals are very detailed. And once again, Beatrice is the best. She's just cooing at Puck, and she has adorable hearts in her eyes. Super cute. And that's it. That's all for today's video. I really love this tea party set, despite the setbacks with currency exchange and figure stains. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you enjoyed what you saw, do leave a like and subscribe with notifications to stay tuned to more videos. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye bye!